Right.
My father spoke over you. A great fighter. You come to my dojo. You bring trouble and dishonor.
The story opens in 1950. A man named James Wright breaks into the Ito dojo, confronting Sensei Shunsuke Ito. James demands one thing: information about Benjiro Ito, Shunsuke's father. Shunsuke agrees to talk, and the film shifts into the past. We move back to 1942. At this time, James Wright is a Royal Air Force wing commander, flying combat missions over the Philippines. During one mission, his plane is shot down. He crash lands and is immediately captured by Japanese forces. They bring him to a harsh POW camp, a place where Allied prisoners are starved, beaten, and forced into slave labor under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Benjiro Ito. Ito controls the camp with absolute cruelty. Prisoners are regularly executed, and the guards carry out his orders without hesitation. James quickly learns how the camp operates. Ito's right-hand man, Captain Hirano, brings James in for interrogation. Hirano decides to execute him. But before that can happen, James fights back. Using his Hong Kong martial arts training, he kills Hirano and 2 soldiers. Before he can make a full escape, he's captured again and dragged back into the camp. While imprisoned, James discovers another disturbing element of the camp: underground fighting matches. Officers force prisoners to fight each other for entertainment, betting on who lives and who dies. James initially refuses to take part, but that changes when he witnesses multiple prisoners executed for resisting. With no choice left, he enters the fights. His martial arts training makes him a standout. He begins winning fight after fight. His biggest challenge is Kuji, the camp's strongest and most skilled fighter. The match is brutal, but James defeats Kuji, earning respect from the prisoners and hatred from the Japanese officers. Benjiro Ito becomes increasingly fixated on James. He recognizes James's martial style as a forbidden martial technique, one associated with a master martial artist Ito has heard of. He starts to realize James is a legitimate warrior, not just another prisoner. But this only fuels his desire to break him. Meanwhile, Ito's second enforcer, Captain Endo, becomes even more violent, executing any soldier who fails to defeat James. Despite the brutality, James forms alliances inside the camp. He befriends Captain Collins, an American officer, and Sergeant Gabriel Villanueva, a Filipino resistance fighter. Collins warns James that they are scheduled to be transferred to a far more lethal prison camp within a week. Escape becomes their only option. James also receives covert help from Teresa, a local nurse who's forced to work for the Japanese. She secretly treats injured prisoners, keeps them alive with stolen medical supplies, and becomes a crucial part of their escape plan. The group begins gathering information and planning. James manages to skill a radio, sneaking outside the camp at night to contact U.S. forces. He transmits intelligence on Japanese troop movements and requests immediate reinforcements. Returning safely to camp, he informs Collins and Villanueva that American air forces will be arriving soon, giving them a narrow window to escape during the chaos of the bombing. At the same time, Ito begins to sense an incoming attack. His paranoia increases. He responds with more cruelty, executing prisoners to maintain control. Realizing time is running out, James and his allies decide to move sooner. They slip out of camp again to examine a downed glider, hoping to use it for escape. But during this mission, Collins kills a Japanese guard. The next day, Collins is captured, tortured, and executed, sending a clear warning to the rest of the prisoners. Soon after, the Allied air raid begins. Bombs rain down on the camp. Buildings collapse, guards scatter, sirens echo through the air as prisoners run for cover. James uses the chaos to put the escape plan into motion. He helps Villanueva and Teresa flee as explosions shake the compound. But before he can leave, Ito confronts him personally. James and Ito engage in a final fight, martial artist against martial artist. It is intense, brutal, and evenly matched. James finally defeats Ito, bruised and beaten. Ito accepts the loss. Out of respect for James's fighting ability and honor, he orders his remaining soldiers to let him go, refusing to kill him even though he has the chance. James, Villanueva, and Teresa escape into the jungle as the camp burns behind them. The story then returns to 1950, inside the Ito dojo. Shunsuke Ito listens as James finishes explaining everything that happened with his father. Shunsuke reveals that Penjiro Ito died years earlier from illness, never having faced justice for his war crimes. James then asks Shunsuke to show him the forbidden martial art technique, something his father once enforced. Shunsuke agrees. The two face off in a controlled but intense match. After a brief fight, James defeats Shunsuke using the same forbidden martial art technique that once caught Benjiro Ikedo's attention. Instead of reacting with anger or resentment, Shunsuke acknowledges the defeat with respect. He retrieves a small object, a medallion that Benjiro Ikedo stole from James during the war. He returns it to him, closing the final connection between James and the Ito family. With that, James leaves the dojo, ending both his search and the long shadow of the war.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.